Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. My name is Michelle Coops and I am a brand rebel, a word wizard, but I'm also the founder of the Brand Rebel Academy. And for the past years, I've been working with lovely brands in fashion and lifestyle, etc., to work on their brand positioning, and especially through the power of words. Now, in this video, I'd like to show you and talk to you about 3 ways to actually increase the fun in your business and in your brand, and also make more money the way that you want to make it. So let's start with tip number 1. All right, so a lot of entrepreneurs forget that there's more to their business than just their product. So we tend to focus on doing our business the whole time. We tend to focus on our products, on delivering to our customers. And I totally get that, because we get swamped with work and deadlines. And, you know, we want to facilitate the clients that have put their trust in us, which is important. We have to understand one thing, and that is that if you're only focusing on the product and you forget the story around it, then it's going to be a little bit one-sided. So you could compare it to like this. Let's say that this little dot here is your product. Now, there's a packaging around it. So that could be, that's the story. It is the looks. It is the whole experience around it. The packaging in itself, only the looks, only the great words and the story, they don't mean anything. You need the contents, you need that product, you need your knowledge, for example. You actually need both, but without either of them, it's going to be like an empty shell. So this is not going to be attractive enough, and this is just going to be an empty box. Now you combine the both, and suddenly there's a bow around it, and it looks nice. So this is where the magic actually happens. As soon as you merge really good contents, because that's what your product is, of course, with a nice packaging, and I'm not just talking about something that looks nice, I'm talking about the feeling, I'm talking about the brand itself and the story around it, then there's this real gift that you can give to your audience. You need both. You know, and the brand is actually that. The brand is your content as well as the va-va-voom around it. I like to call it the magic. I really believe that this synergy of both of the really good contents with a really good story to package it, that in itself, that together will amplify your success with your business. All right? So now the second tip that I have for you actually is all about your personality. So as entrepreneurs, we tend to think that we need to be professional, for example. There's a certain way that we need to behave, we need to act in a certain way, we need to dress in a certain way, because that's what we call professional, and that is business-like. When you attend a business event, there's a certain way to dress, for example, to do your hair. It doesn't really matter. The thing is that if everybody is going to position themselves with a professional personality, then what's the difference between all these different brands? How are we going to really get to know the person behind it? The thing is that it doesn't always involve you as a person per se, of course. I mean, your brand in itself, even when you as the visionary, as the entrepreneur, are not visible, you're not necessarily attached to it yourself, still, you want your brand to feel like a person. You want it to feel human. We like to interact with people, after all. People want to buy from people. I'm sure you've heard this quote before, but it's so very true. So we want our brand to have a personality. We want it to feel real and authentic. But if we're going to position ourselves the same as everyone else, as competition, as, well, I don't know who, or because we've learned what we should position a business like, then there's going to, well, we're going to attract customers that might not necessarily be our kind of people. All right, so what's going to happen? This is what I think that a really good brand should be like. I think a good brand is like a filter. So let's just say that this is the filter, and right now you have created a certain filter that a lot of people can still go through. You know, it's like putting sand on top of that filter, and then, well, you know, there's a lot that is allowed, that is going through, but still there is a lot on top of here that remains on top. And it could be that this way, you're not filtering out the people that are actually good match. There's still a lot of sand that you might not want to work with, just so to speak. So by narrowing down your filter, so instead of just focusing on a too large audience with a little bit of an average personality, you yourself and the brand, if it's all a bit too average because you think that you need to position yourself in a certain way, then you're going to attract people that might not be that match, like I said before. So what you actually want to do is you want to focus, you want to narrow it down, and you want to specifically create a brand personality that people do not feel attracted to, because if there are people who don't feel attracted to it, there are going to be people who feel really attracted to it. Okay, so for every lover, there's a hater, and for every hater, there's a lover. So the more specific you are in the way that you show yourself and your personality, the better. So if this is the filter, let's just assume that you're going to narrow this down. You're going to narrow it down so that the holes become smaller. Small enough for the sand, you know, it's still, no, let's rephrase that. So it's big enough for the sand to go through, but the gold doesn't fall through anymore. So you want it to be so narrow so that the sand you don't want to work with falls through, and what remains on top and doesn't get lost with the rest of the particles are the golden little bit of golds that actually you do want to work with. And that this mass that falls through the filter, that's fine. You don't want to work with everyone. You want to focus on those little grains of gold that don't go through. All right? So make sure that you have the guts to actually show that personality. Be different from everyone else. Be you most of all, but dare to actually play with the personality traits so that, you know, it's recognizable. It's very clear on what you do. Now, tip number 3 is put yourself into the limelight. You put yourself into the spotlight. Now, that can be very scary. A lot of people are afraid of being visible. But the thing is, you know, if you're just going to be hiding in a cupboard, then I can assure you that people are not going to know you. So whether it is you as the entrepreneur who is visible, or whether you're just doing the marketing for the brand itself or the brand name, you know, I don't know what's stopping you right now, but you gotta be visible on some level. Because here's the thing, you know, if you're this beautiful work of art, and I know that you're a beautiful work of art, and if you're not showing yourself, you're keeping all that knowledge and all that precious gifts that you have inside of you, you're keeping that from the people that you can help with. And there might be others that are helping those people right now instead of you. You know, it could be competition that is out there, maybe doing a good job, maybe not doing a good job. I cannot judge about that, but I can tell you that if you have a dream of helping people with your personality, then that's enough. So put yourself into that limelight, you know, show yourself, and trust that there's only one thing that is really important here, and that is that you come from yourself. Instead of comparing yourself to others, you put your knowledge and your experience, actually those things that you're really good at, you put them into the spotlight. You know, don't stop comparing yourself to others, because it's not about that. It's not about being as good as they are. It's about doing it your way, because there will always be people who actually love the way that you do things. And you know, that's that filter again, guys. It's not about trying to please the whole world. It's about, you know, doing that thing that you're really good at and doing it your way. All right, into flow, guys. I hope that this really inspires you, and I hope that this really helps you to build that brand a little bit more, you know, amplifying it, creating that magic, because I can swear that, tell you that if you start telling your story, if you start creating that personality reveliciously, like I like to call it, you know, and you filter out those golden clients and you have the guts to become visible, that is what I call magic. Your brand is magic. So please start creating magic, guys. And I hope to be inspiring you next time. Please share this video, tag people who might be interested, who might be inspired by this. And well, see you next time. Bye.